Welcome to episode 146 of the Inside Byte. I'm your host, Tim Schaefer. I'm here with my co-host, Rudy. How you doing this week?
Hey, I'm doing good. Just exhausted, man, to be honest. Just, the same old stuff of life getting in the way of just... All I want to do, honestly, every day is just come home and do nothing. So that's where I'm at these days lately.
Dadding today.
Oh, man.
Those are the thoughts that I have my entire existence, basically. In the last, 15 years?
No. Oh, dude, it's just... everything's so exhausting. People are so annoying. I can't. I need a break. So, even this is how I knew I was tired. The other night, maybe a few nights ago, I had an hour and a half to myself. No one was here. It's like, man, I should play some Final Fantasy. And I love Final Fantasy, but I was like, no, I can't. I just don't have the brain power right now to do anything that requires any sort of skill. So I just put on some show that I didn't care about at all and just lay there tired. So that's where I'm at. I'm just overly exhausted,
Speaking of, I didn't play Final Fantasy this week because I got to the part Golden Saucer, like I said, 2 or 3 weeks ago, where the date sequence is about to happen. And I was like, oh, I want to have my wife watch this part because I haven't seen it, but we were just she went with me and my kid to watch Avid Children in theaters.
I see.
And I was randomly talking about where I was in it or something like that because she was asking. And I was saying, oh, well, I'm actually about to do, trying to explain this date sequence thing that we're aware of from the original. But apparently in this game, it goes on for a little over an hour. And it's actually quite an awesome spectacle. So I was like, okay, it'd be cool to watch. But trying to coordinate, I'm like, this is why I don't watch TV shows or movies or anything else. Because it's near impossible to try to coordinate watching something with somebody. Sure. And I've given up on this a long time ago of us watching a show together. It's impossible. Dude, are you able to actually pull off watching a show with your wife? Because I can't unless it just happens to be on and we just happen to both already be sitting anyway. Otherwise, it's not happening.
Yeah, we'll do it, but it's usually late at night. One of us might be tired, one of us might fall asleep. And also, depending on the show, it will determine how long it takes. If it's a show we're both really, really into, we might, let's do 2 or 3 episodes in a row, whatever. Otherwise, it takes freaking forever for us, so.
I always just, screw it. I want to see what happens next too badly, and I don't like waiting 4 days, so I'm just going to watch. Anyway, but I've been holding off on her actually watching this bit, so I purposely have been playing it. But I kind of wanted a break anyway because there is so much happening right now in terms of releases that I'm way too curious on, and I'll get into. There's 6 things that I've touched and played on of big stuff that is quite interesting to talk on. So it's nice to have this break, but it's been 2 weeks now to where now I'm actually craving it pretty bad. But I think that's a good thing because I don't know. I wasn't getting worn down by the game because I don't know. I've been a lot better lately at only doing what I want to do. If I want to do side stuff, I do it. If I don't, I don't. And I just kind of go with the whim of that. And then even if I skip stuff, I go back and do it later and all that. So now that I'm kind of doing genuinely what I want to do with that and just kind of accepting, I'm not going to miss anything and I can always go back to it later. I find myself a few hours going back to it anyway, like we discussed probably. Okay. So anyway, all that being said, I'm now itching to go back, but there is a lot of other stuff that I'm going to be talking on because I had that break. Because it's pretty much been a month of nonstop of me just talking about this or nothing at all because it's all I've been doing.
Right. So. I got you. All right, Tim, hold on. Let me go clean my son real quick, but I'll have some thoughts when I come back. Hold on a sec. I have some thoughts on Final Fantasy later, but I'll bring it up when I do it at the end.
We're going to start this episode going back to the good old Steam library and working through that. And I think it's interesting to just quickly hit games that we have bought, whether we actually even touch them or not, is also interesting, just knowing that layer. So I'll start. Company Heroes. Now, I listed them all here, but throwing them all into one bunch. Company Heroes. I got Company Heroes Legacy Edition, Company Heroes 2, Company Heroes Opposing Fronts, Company Heroes Tales of Valor. And I want to say that's all of them, unless they released a third, and maybe they did actually. I don't know. Makes me wonder now. Regardless, all of the original game and all of 2. And I actually really enjoy this series. This was back when I was big into playing RTSs, and this was kind of at the height of that whenever Company Heroes came out. I used to play Red Alert 3 a ton as well. And then Company Heroes came around there. And then I played the sequel as well, which came out like 2 or 3 years after that. But I don't think I've played an RTS since Company Heroes 2's release. But I used to really like them, and, I'm sure I still like them. It's just, I don't know what it is. I think it's the fact of controller, I think. Like, I've even if I play on PC, like, I go in and out of playing more or less on PC, and I've kind of done that my whole life when it comes to juggling between consoles and PC, and it's kind of always been a part of the mix. But I will say in the last 5 years, I've fallen off of mouse and keyboard gameplay, let's say. Even if I play on PC, I'm always playing with the controller if I am. I think it's just a matter of me just becoming more tired and lazy over the years.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think that's all it is, because it's not like, obviously there's clear advantage when you're playing games with a mouse and shooters and stuff like that, but I just want to chill and sit back. And as the years go on, I more and more want a controller in my hands. So I think that's all it is. And
Gotcha.
Me, an RTS, Company Heroes, I definitely want a mouse and keyboard for that. And that's probably why I don't play RTSs anymore. That's my theory. But that's that.
Makes sense.
I love the series, though. I mean, they're great. Highly recommend those games. A solid 9 out of 10s across the board. Either one of them, 1 or 2. So there's that.
All right, good to hear. My first one is Botanicula. How the hell do I say this?
I don't know what that is.
I played this game a long time ago. If I'm not mistaken, it's by the same people that did. Hold on. The name of the company, the name of the developers is called Amanita Design.
Okay.
They made these other games. They're like those adventure type games. Click this, click that to try to figure out. Kind of like the Double Fine game, sort of. Yeah. They made one called Machinarium or something like that I really loved. This one was pretty good too, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, that's the kind of games they make.
Okay.
So, pretty good. Worth playing, I'd say.
My next here is Cortex Command, and I legit don't know what this is. How I got it, what it even is, nothing's
Cortex
in my head.
Command.
Not even like a image of. Let's see. I'm looking now. Was this something I bought? That I actually. No. This is nothing I'd be playing. This is like almost Terraria type looking like. And I don't know. Not that I hate these games, but I don't really play them.
Gotcha.
But it looks like Terraria, but it's online, which I guess Terraria is as well. But this, I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
Next.
Next up, Raid. Absolutely love this game. I thought it was fantastic. Really, really ahead of its time. And then later we got The Witness, obviously. So yeah, if you have not played Braid, I definitely recommend checking it out. Sometimes it's got a really cool time mechanic, but it's not like anything I've seen in any other game. They did it very in a unique way, and I think there's supposed to be some anniversary edition coming out. It's just taking forever to come out. So yeah, check that one out if you have not played it.
Well, it's Jonathan Blow, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And is this his first game? It's
I think
his first
so.
big one, but it makes me wonder if it's just his first in general. I don't know.
It could be. That was the first one I'd ever heard of him making. So
yes, and one, I don't know if there even was a game prior to this game to where it just had that rewind mechanic in terms of solving the puzzles, but then like you push some stuff and then your character rewinds, but the rest of the environment stays the same or whatever. I don't think that existed prior to this game, and it seems so simple, but that's what makes this game so great is like how complex it becomes based off of a simple premise.
Yep.
And yeah,
it's easy to understand the concept, but the farther you get in the game, it becomes harder to like really get it down well, you know? So
yeah, it's like a 2D platformer puzzle game. But yeah, on paper it doesn't sound nearly as good as when you play it. Let's say.
Yep.
So
it's an awesome game, man.
Okay. Cosmic Flow, a relaxing VR experience. This was something I paid like $1 or $2 for a VR thing. It is really cool. You could just, I don't know. It's what it sounds like it is, to where it's just throwing crazy visuals at you, but not in the sense of you like spazzing out, but more of like relaxing you. But it's really intense visuals at the same time in terms of like looking through a kaleidoscope or something like that. But just done really well. And then this Cosma Sugar VR is kind of a similar thing, and they're just meant to like have you sort of zen out in VR. I don't know.
Gotcha.
It's one of those you'll throw in for like 30 minutes and never do again, but
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, I had Broken Age. I've heard great things about this game. I just haven't played it myself yet. I've had it in my library forever. I'd like to play it sometime, but yeah, I have not actually played it myself yet.
So this, I am a gigantic fan of Broken Age. I think
Heard
one
so many
of
good things.
His greatest games. I mean, like, I know this is like far into like, I don't know. Adventure games have already came and gone in terms of the popularity, and this game came out in like 2015 or something like that. Far after the fact of, you know, it popping off in the earlys and late 90s or whatever. But this was always, I think it's my favorite Tim Schafer game. I think it is.
Gotcha.
Psychonauts 2 would probably be my number 2. I always think back on that game lately, and I've been itching to go back and play it. I don't know, Psychonauts 2 was so awesome.
Psychonauts 2 was awesome, man. That was such a good game.
It was, every world was such a grand adventure. I don't know, I loved it.
Yeah, man, I almost forgot about that game. That was so fun.
I mean, the very first world, just that dentist ordeal was wild.
Yeah.
And it only gets crazier, seriously. Like that casino one, far crazier.
So funny.
But you remember the I don't know, the doctor stuff with the casino levels?
Yeah.
You got like the race you have to do, and it's like some like silhouette 2D platforming race thing. I don't know. The game just gets so wild, but
it really does get crazy.
All right.
All right.
Shout out Broken Age for real.
Yeah, I need to play it.
I think that's my favorite one. And the character, I mean, it's got Elijah Wood in it. He plays like a lumberjack in it. It actually has a few like big name actors. I wish I could remember who they all were.
I know Elijah Wood. I didn't know who else.
They have such interesting, like the Elijah Wood one is probably the least interesting one because it follows specific characters and it bounces between like I want to say 3 or 4 of them, but one of them is this female character that basically every year they'll like wear like extravagant dresses or something and put themselves out on display for this sea monster to come up and basically pick the one that it wants to eat, and the better the female looks, the more likely they're going to get picked to get eaten. And then as long as the monster is able to eat one person a year, he's satisfied and won't destroy their town. So it's literally a story where like that it's mentioned and all that because it's time for the festival, but it's more of like the daily life if this was your reality and everyone just kind of accepting it, kind of
Gotcha.
viewpoint in to where nobody's like thinking it's crazy or weird, and if they do, they've accepted it a long time ago and they just kind of roll with it. But you know, it's like brought up in passing and they're just doing all these other things, and it I love the rabbit hole it leads into to where somehow you're now up in the clouds talking to cloud people because of all of this stuff that happens. And it's just
It sounds so cool.
there's space bits involved as well, and they all kind of meet at some point or another. And I don't know, it's one of those just like Psychonauts to where like it takes such an impressive mind to come up with. Like, it's one thing to just come up with something random and crazy, right? I think anyone could do that. But being able to, like, have it make sense and execute on it and have it involve a whole world, like, that actually functions and has, like, an economy and stores and people wrapped all around such insanity worlds. That's where that's where I find the most impressive. Of, like, not just that you can come up, a redneck dancing on a skittle, right? Okay, right, but like, what to take such a dumb idea like that and turn it into a full-fledged world? That's what's impressive. I don't know.
Yep. No, I agree. I need to play that one, man. I've been forever wanting to play that one, so I'll get to it eventually. It'll be a good Steam Deck anyway, I would say.
Yep, I mean it's on all platforms. Switch as well, be a good place regardless.
Yep.
And it's not very long, so
yeah, could be a good one. You could squeeze it in.
All right. My next one here, Counter-Strike 2. Try to play it once. I was interested because I was a big Counter-Strike guy back in like Counter-Strike 6 and when Source first came, Counter-Strike 1.6, and then whenever Source came out, and then that sort of spiked there, and I played for a few years. I was in like a few clans, and again, whenever I went to England, I met with some of the people from my clan back in Counter-Strike. It was pretty interesting. So it all spawns from that, but Counter-Strike, a lot of huge memories. So, I boot up this 2, and I don't know. It's one of those games where just the shaders are all messed up and it takes forever to load and it's jank, and I'm like, what the hell? It's like, this is a multiplayer shooter and it's got all of these weird PC problems, and I can't be bothered. Like,
gotcha.
So. Anyway.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I've always heard how fun the game is, but I just can't see myself playing it right now. So I had Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons remake. I played this. I really loved the original game. I will say the remake doesn't really add much at all, if anything. It felt like I was just playing the original again, which I was happy to do. But yeah, I'd say if you are thinking, oh yes, this is going to be so different, not really. It's pretty much the same exact thing. But I did enjoy playing it again, so yeah.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy.
Crisis 2 Maximum Edition. I'm actually I think Crisis 1 is the best in the series, but I do really like 2 and 3 And I think the whole series is actually super strong and great, and I think it's very like um, underrated. And I wish more people would actually try out any of them, 1, 2, or 3. I know when 1 came out, it was like a running gag for over a decade of can your PC run Crisis? And apparently, when it first came out, like if there was a rig that was running it, you're getting like 20, 30 FPS at best, and it's still not being able to play on like high settings or anything. So unless you there was like stories on NASA computers finally be able to play it on maximum settings or something like that. But that's where all of the conversation sort of starts and ends. And I wish people would just actually dive into the games.
That's all they talk about.
And really genuinely, like, I think the story is cool. It's serviceable. It's definitely not bad. Like, I don't want to get the wrong impression there, but it's just normal. But where the game shines, like, 1 is a very like sandbox, do whatever the hell you want, but it plays with physics a whole bunch to where like it's like when you're playing Halo 2 or 3 with your friends at 2 a.m. and you're trying to figure out all these crazy glitches and stuff like that. And like, it's very much in that camp of just the more you mess around with the physics, the more you start understanding exactly how this world's created and how much more fun it can become because of all the possibilities and how to take down your enemies because of the crazy sandbox physics of the game. Super fun and impressive on that front. And then, like, I don't know, the gameplay super like tight, feels phenomenal. I really loved like that first, and then the second like went a lot more linear, but the suit abilities got a lot more fun, I would say, by a landslide. And graphics are really cool because it's more like city based, where the first one's more like Far Cry sort of vibe. And so I really like the more like high tech lean into on the second one. And then weirdly, I would play the hell out of the multiplayer of Crisis 2.
Okay.
Because I mean, how badass of having these suit powers and playing a multiplayer shooter, and it definitely plays great, looks great, and incredibly fun. And I didn't understand why it didn't take off. Maybe some people were like turned off because of maybe the complexities, because you have like 4 different modes you can switch to at any point. And it can get a little complicated. Like, I'm imagining people hopping online and getting wrecked immediately because they don't understand the mechanics. And then maybe it not taking off because it can't get, like, that massive quick appeal of, like, making it easy to onboard. But, the depth comes later kind of thing. But, and then Crisis 3 went back to more like a Crisis 1 thing, but in a jungle. And it's crazy impressive still to this day. Like, if you install Crisis 3 and play it in a rig, that's one to where you're gonna be like wowed by its visuals. And it came out a while ago, and it's still incredibly stunning.
It still keeps up.
Yeah.
It's been crazy, man.
So
people always use that as like a benchmark, which is so funny.
But Crisis 3, really, really cool. Like, sort of like you can sort of hide in the grass and get like a bow and snipe someone from super far away, and it has like a hunting factor to it. And it's very like dark, gritty jungle, and I really like the vibe of it. So it's like Crisis 2 is Metal Gear Solid 2, and Crisis 3 is Metal Gear Solid 3, and its themes.
Gotcha.
So
okay, very
anyway,
cool.
Is that
all right? Next up, I got Buildmaster Marsville. Never heard of this game. Don't even know what it is.
Me either.
Let's see. Buildmaster Marsville.
I'm imagining a simulation game, and you're on Mars, and you're building the town.
Okay, so you are building it, but it's more cartoony, kind of. Okay, interesting. Okay. Yeah. It looks like a phone game, sort of. Mostly negative reviews, too, right?
Okay.
Don't even know how I got that game.
Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition. This is whenever I hated the Dark Souls, Demon Souls games.
Right.
And this game didn't help with that because this was an incredibly bad port of
it was
Dark
not a good
Souls,
port.
and it was super super rough. And even with mods, it was still never that good. And there was so many mods trying to fix it. It's pretty bad. But
I agree.
yeah, I do have a lot of memories with this game because I just remember trying so hard to like it and get it and try to understand. And which I shouldn't have been playing this version to, but it was the only thing I had at the time. I think it was just out on 360, and I don't think I had a 360 at this time. I was definitely in that PS3 camp at that point. So yeah, but yeah, I love the series now, which is really weird to say because if I go back to my thoughts during that time, dude, I couldn't have hit.
Oh yeah, you were definitely felt differently.
I hated him. I was just like so trash. I didn't like. I'm like, it's so clunky and like it's just purposely trying to kill you around every corner. It's like, why would anyone enjoy this? And yeah, I don't know. It just clicks one day.
Yep. Yep. Definitely does click. All right. Next up, I got Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition. Another game that I've dabbled with and I had every intention of playing through. Never actually played the whole entire thing. Heard some pretty good things about it though, so maybe one day.
Well, I'm glad this is in here right now because it just reminded me the VR version came out very recently, and I actually was interested in trying that, and I forgot about it. So I'm sure it's out now. I think it came out like a week or two ago at max. Anyway, I wanted to give that a shot because I'm sitting there like I'm trying with VR, and I think this would be a really fun one just because like I didn't play much of this game, but I very remember how the mechanics work of like that lasso that you have that you can sort of like pull people up and then just sort of blast them with crazy guns or pull them towards you and doing all these crazy combos and stuff. And I think it would really benefit from VR in terms of a fun factor and something that you're definitely moving around a lot and sweating a lot in, but having a ton of fun. Almost like a pistol whip or something. It's kind of how I see this going. So, yeah, I want to check that out.
Yeah, same.
Darwin Project. I tried it a few times. It's like a multiplayer sort of let's just say, God, why can't I like Fortnite or something? What are they? Battle Royale, dear God. But you have like, I don't think there's guns in it. If they are, it's like a black powder rifle or something, but it's mainly just like making traps and killing people with like axes and weird tools and stuff like that. And it's like there's like a map where you're like in the snow. I don't know if they released any maps beyond that, but it's definitely more of that like survival man kind of like take on a battle royale. So it's a cool premise and all, but I don't know. I'm definitely not a battle royale guy. So
yeah,
I can only care so much.
Kind of over battle royale too.
So
there's all right. Next up, Call of Duty World War II, and then the multiplayer of it. I never played through the campaign of this. I did play the multiplayer bit. I thought it was fine. That was pretty fun. Nothing crazy. It's Call of Duty, So what are you going to say about it?
Yeah, I wanted to say I played a handful of matches multiplayer, like a friends or something, just to see what it was. But yeah, I never actually really played it.
I didn't get sucked into it or anything,
Day Defeat Source. It's good. I don't know. Like it's so hard to talk on something like this, but it's one of those OG sort of like Source mod games, and kind of how Counter-Strike was made and how Team Fortress was made and all that. This was another one of those called Day of Defeat, and it's fun. I don't know.
Okay.
It's old.
Gotcha. All right, next up, I have Catherine Classic. I really like this game. I think it's so creative and so fun. Really, really out there, wacky. I don't think there's a game like it ever to be made. Yeah, I really like that. I thought it started getting really challenging. I got pretty far into it, but I loved it. I thought it was great. So
No,
it had a really wacky
Catherine's
story.
amazing.
Catherine's awesome. I think it's so good.
The problem is the new version, the full body edition or whatever, is so much better, and they keep doing this.
Is it?
Atlas is so annoying.
Yeah, it's like Persona 5 Royal. Yeah.
It's like leagues better, to where it's like really dumb for you to play the original version now. So if you ever like never finished it or want to play it, don't play the original. Like, I highly, even though obviously it was great at the time, but it's weird. It's just there's a much better version of it, and you're just like stealing yourself from time, because it's not like it's a different experience. It's just better stuff and then more content and then fixed all, like there's nothing you're gonna find in that and be like, well, I like the way Classic did this. Like, no, it's definitely not the case. It's just across the board a better experience. Jump on that. But regardless, Catherine's amazing, but don't waste your time playing the Classic version.
Yeah, I got to play the full body one, because man, I love the original. I thought it was awesome, and it's been long enough.
It's a whole new character, and because of that, like instead of going between 2 Catherines, you're going between 3 basically. And because of that, there's just a whole third extra of the game, if not maybe more. And the levels are just it goes far better places, and the new character's actually really cool. So,
gotcha.
And there's just, it's not like the original content's there and then the add, like they like the same scenes will take place, but they will say a few different words because different things are happening. You know what I mean? So it's like a transformation of the game. Even the same content that it goes over again, it's not the same content.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, all right.
That's cool if they're doing that.
Dead Island. I mean, I liked it when it came out. I wasn't like a huge Dead Island dude, but I had my fun. Played it about 30, 40 hours with some friends. Had a good time. Never really played it since, you know. That's pretty much it.
Right. All right. Fair enough. Let's see. Charlie Murder. This game is actually really cool. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's by the same people that did Salt and Sanctuary.
I've never heard of it. Charlie Murder.
Let me just make sure of it. Charlie Murder, developer Ska Studios. Yeah.
Okay.
If you look it up, it has a similar sort of like art style going on. It's really fun and really good. I played it for a little while. I didn't beat it, but what I played of it, I thought was really, really fun and really good. And I could totally see how this led them to Salt Sanctuary later. It's kind of like a brawler sort of thing going on, like Streets of Rage, kind of, you know.
Okay.
It's really fun, though. So, yeah, worth checking out for sure. Oh, you got to the end of your list. Okay, so
yeah, I'm at the end, so keep going.
Chasm. I remember I downloaded this game.
I know what this is, but I have yet to play it.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be good, right?
Cool, like a roguelike, not a roguelike, sorry, procedurally generated levels. Seemed interesting, like a fun game. Never ended up playing it. And finally, Chrono Trigger. I did play this game way later than everyone else. I played it, like 3 or 4 years ago, probably. Thought it was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. That was really ahead of its time. But
so it's not on my list just because, honestly, I've been messing with a lot of stuff. But I did install this on the Steam Deck because I wanted to see how it was on there. Right. And it is a super good version. I'm quite surprised. Okay, I'm like, nice. So I might play on there, but here's the thing is, you know, listen to Sacred Symbols all the time. Funny enough, not Dagon, dear God. No. not Chris, Dustin. Thank
Dustin?
God, dear God. He started playing this, and he's starting to say now of like a few weeks of being like kind of wishing he would have played the DS version. Apparently, he keeps looking into that, and there's some things that it does that others don't. That's really good. Blah blah blah. Well, I have the DS version, and I have a great working 3DS or even the 2DS or a DS or whatever. I could easily play it. And I'm sitting there thinking like, I'm like, do I play the Steam Deck version or do I actually play it on DS? Because it would be pretty neat playing on the DS2, so you get like that bottom screen. And I'm sitting there thinking like for like map or like when you're battling, like having the actions on there or whatever. It's like I'm kind of, you know, it's been a while since I played any DS anything, and I'm sitting there wondering like I might whip out, you know, at least the 3DS and play it on there. I don't know.
Yeah. Why not? It's supposed to be the best version.
Yeah, but that's yeah.
That's like the Final Fantasy. Was it Final Fantasy 6? They had like a really great version on. I don't know if it was DS or Game Boy Advance, maybe.
Well, they did Game Boy Advance of all. I want to say literally 1 through 6 is on GBA. So I know that's the case, but I don't know if they also did. Well, with DS they did 3 and 4.
Gotcha.
Is what was on DS, not 6, but. There's a GBA version of 6, and they did update things like it's like updated translation, little extra content. I know that that's the case. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, that's that. Us working through this Steam library stuff here.
There we go.
First news, the biggest news of it all.
Yes, sir.
You wanna?
Yeah. Keanu Reeves has been cast as Shadow in Sonic 2. Yes, we love Keanu.
Sonic
Reeves,
2.
So. Sonic 3. Why did I say 2? Sonic 3. Excuse me. I think this is cool news. I think lately Keanu Reeves being in anything is cool. So
it's very weird. Like when you hear it, but you're like, but it makes sense. Like the very moment you hear his voice being in Shadow, it's like it actually pretty similar. Like it works. It's funny, but it works.
Shadow's more of a hey, what's up? What's going on kind of guy.
I'm an emo dark lord.
Yeah, exactly.
But which Keanu, you know, it's not quite that lame, but
I know what you mean though.
It works. It's releasing December 20th. We got a date now too, and apparently that's happening. So,
cool.
So I mean, talk about some big names. I mean, they got fucking. I never can say his name. Idris Elba. I don't know how to like.
Elba. Something like that.
Yeah, I was like, I would love to hear someone pronounce it to me a few times and really try to just nail it down because I spent so much of my life pronouncing it wrong and still continue to do so. All right, but yeah, a quick little bit there. I wanted to talk on the Steller Blade stuff. There's a lot of bits we can talk on, but I mean. I don't know. It's a whole lot of nothing at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
But I did want to mention at least the critic reception. It's sitting at 82 Metacritic, so it's pretty good. It's pretty much like as I'm just putting it all together, reading from so many different things, seems to be the action's great.
The combat is really good.
It's just there's weird points in the game to where there's like needless puzzles or maybe a bland like traversing through an area, stuff like that.
Well, the skill up review, he pointed something out that I thought was interesting. He said how Yoko Taro, who runs the Nier games, I guess had a conversation with the head of this game, and they were both back and forth like, oh my god, this game is definitely better than my game that I made, and vice versa. Whatever, you inspired us. And so he says how he still recommends the game, but one thing that he didn't like is how hard it tries to do things like Nier with the story, which again, I don't have a problem with necessarily, but I guess the point he was trying to make is that they went past being inspired by it and tried too much to like recreate it, and it hurt them because they didn't do it as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I can't verify this or not. I haven't played it yet, but that's a lot.
I'm not expecting that they do a better job than Nier in terms of its story. That seems pretty tall order.
Not even better, but he makes it sound, just his opinion, that like they were trying so hard to do it that they failed a lot of it because they were trying so hard to do this instead of just doing their own thing. But I don't know. I gotta see. But
the combat, I mean, I really want to play it just for that reason alone, because it just nothing plays like it. It's
right.
There's a lot of like reference points you can make of, oh, it could feel like this, right. But it's in the end of the day, it's just there's nothing that plays like it, and I think that's a huge strength of this game.
Yep.
And
agreed.
This is their, first big like console release here. They have mobile stuff prior. Super interesting in what they can pull off next now that they've done this. Like hopefully it only goes up from here, and they could just improve and just not have, I guess, so much bloat and little weird sections, stuff like that. But apparently even like the bosses are really neat in this game and all that. So I'm excited to play. Yeah. I will play it. I don't know exactly when, but I'm hoping soon. I don't know.
Yeah, I bought this with the intention of playing it day one, but Final Fantasy just doesn't end. So I'm still working on that, but I don't want to jump into Stellar Blade until I'm totally done. So I have it sitting there, and I'll get into it as soon as I'm wrapping Final Fantasy up. So
cool. Now,
yeah, I'm excited, man.
I do want to talk on the censorship bit. Do you? I don't know what you've seen or not seen, but it's basically the stuff we already expecting of people complaining about the over-sexualization, right? But so then it leads into this whole like censorship thing. One, they'd be an idiot not to censor was the whole hard R thing. Clearly they didn't mean anything by it. One, they're Korean. Yes, like I'm sure they know English to an extent, but I would doubt they would get such a reference as like hard R in our language.
Right.
Like, and doing it on purpose. Come on, guys.
Oh boy. That's so random. When I saw that, I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
No, it's funny. It's messed up, but it's just funny. Just of how random of a coincidence that is, of just having like it's in a hard, like it's graffiti art on a wall,
right?
And it says hard, but it's a random asset, that would sort of go throughout the world, random things, random graffitis, but it's in this image, it's sitting next to a shop, and they're called like R shop, so it literally reads as if it's just hard R, and so. They passed that out, and they got backlash for that, which they definitely do not deserve. It's like they wouldn't notice or like, and they would want to remove it if people notice that. Like they're not going to want to keep that in there. So that's understandable. But there's another thing which I don't know. It's like it's as big or small as you want it to be, but it genuinely can be a big thing of the outfit. There is a particular outfit of it's a bunny suit outfit, and it's very like low cut, ton of cleavage showing, and the crotch area is a lot more revealing of like the legs and hips or whatever. So in the edited version, they basically like covered more of like the top and bottom with the outfit, and that's causing a lot of stir as well. Which that is like, look, I'm always just gonna want what the dev wants. If it was them just genuinely doing it because they wanted to, but I just wouldn't believe that, because then why would they make it in the first place of something different?
Right. Right.
So I don't
Yeah,
think, even if the dev is saying they wanted to do it, it's got to come from somebody else saying, hey, you should probably do something about that, right?
Yep. I agree. I saw the changes that were made, and it's like,
it's
it
not a
doesn't
big
bother me that
deal,
much.
but
It's not a big deal, but at the same time, like,
why do it?
why not just leave it in? Like, there's games that have so much worse in it, and they're
Yeah.
rated mature. So it's like, what's the big deal? The Last of Us 2 has a full blown like sex scene in it. So what is the problem? I don't understand.
I want somebody to, like, if you're gonna do it, go hard and like balls out, you know, like don't sit there and start reverting things after the fact and be like, well, maybe that is a little too revealing. Like, no, like we saw the other is the problem. If we didn't know it existed the other way around, no one would be the wiser. Nobody would know. No one would bring it up or anything. But it's the fact that you conceded to somebody makes me, you know, like, I genuinely drop a bit of respect. Now, that's it. It leads to nothing bigger. I'm not boycotting it. I'm not gonna not play it. I'm not gonna sit there and throw a tantrum.
Right.
I don't care, dude. But it, you know, it's like, it's a little disappointing that you caved.
Yeah, it's a little silly to me. Still gonna play the game, but like, I think that some people immediately go to, if I like the fact that I can play this game and the girl's attractive and wearing revealing clothing, whatever, while you play it, if someone likes that, I feel like the only response you get is the total extreme. Oh, well, that's why you probably watch it and jerk off, you
basement dweller or whatever.
I'm like, dude, how about maybe I don't like, I enjoy having an attractive character as someone you play with. Like, that's cool to me. I think that's cool. That's fun. I don't know why it has to be this crazy thing, you know?
Look, let's flip it to like these guys that, okay, when we were playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and that was his name, Dio or Duo,
oh, yeah.
I don't know. His arm, I mean, what is it, like 8 arms in one or something like that? You think Barrett's arms are huge. The guy's like right. 3 times Barrett's arms and legs, but it's ridiculous. But that's what makes cool character design, is the ridiculous factor of it. Like, even if it's completely unrealistic, which I don't even agree with, first of all. I don't think it's unrealistic. Like, there are people that technically can look like that. That's not, like, impossible. Yes, it's gonna be rare, but the dude in Final Fantasy Rebirth, that's some impossible shit.
Oh yeah, that guy is totally unrealistic standards.
But I think that's what makes it fun. Like, is to go beyond what would be the norm. Like, that's what makes it interesting.
I totally agree with you.
Why shy away from stuff like that? I don't know.
I don't think it's necessary to really make it a big thing, you know? So,
and I don't think girls have an issue with it. I mean, I'm sure there are some, yes, just like there are some of any group that would be, but
it's mostly guys. It's mostly guys who want to just act like they're so mad about it.
Yes.
It's so silly, man.
Yeah. It's they're fighting a battle that they don't even understand, and probably only hurting their whatever their goals are.
Right.
Which I don't even know what it would even be, but
so silly.
All right. But yeah, I just wanted to touch base on that and say what I thought on that, which is, I feel, pretty vanilla response to all that. Pretty normal standard thoughts of just, kind of wish they wouldn't, but I don't know. I'm not going to get too extreme one way or the other over it. All right.
Sure.
Fallout. Right. I want to get into Fallout.
Okay.
Have you watched this?
I have not yet. I have not played the Fallout game, so I wasn't. Dude.
Wow.
I wasn't like itching to watch this, but after the reception it's gotten, I think I'm gonna have to watch it now. So,
I mean, how do I put this? I'm not like big into Fallout. I like them. New Vegas is the goats. Um,
Right.
I like the games. I would put it in there like, I don't know, if 10's the most awesome hyped crap ever. I would throw like, in it's like 8 level for me in terms of like the excitement around it and all that. But I don't. It's awesome that we recently got the Last of Us TV series, which did an amazing job, and this is one that I think is even better than that, of just doing an incredible job and really understanding, bringing all the video game stuff to the big screen, but it not feeling, oh, this is kind of like bad dorky nerdy video game stuff. Nobody's like, if nobody played the video games, they wouldn't even be the wiser and think it like.
Right.
But the very moment you do and have any context, or far outside of Fallout, just context on ridiculous stuff that happens in video games, it's funny watching this show because they lean
Awesome.
into the jokes of like, oh, yet another side quest kind of stuff. They don't actually say those words because that would be lame and bad writing.
Right. But they kind of imply it.
They say stuff like, I wish I knew the wording, but they just, I don't know, they word it perfect where like, they're talking about side quest video games, but they don't say it like that. But it's not even like a hint at it. I wish I could pull up the line. So if I read it, it would make sense. But regardless, something about how every time I try to do something, it takes me down. Me having to do 5 million other things beforehand. I just want like like jokes like that, or how fake some things could be in terms of, okay, there's absolutely no way this person was able to get away from this bit, and somehow they did, but they like lean into the comedy of it and stuff like that. And like, they have stim packs in the game, which you inject it and you get healed, like they just straight up like just accept that in this world, and they don't try to be real about it. They don't try to like, and over explain what a stim pack is and try to make it make sense in the real world. No, they just, people get injected and that's that, and now they're healed, and you just accept that healed the person without turning it into a video game conversation. I don't know. It's
Gotcha.
it's stuff like that.
I'm gonna check it out for sure. It's on Amazon, right?
Yes.
All right. I'll start that up.
I loved it. So because of that, it just caused a huge spike with game sales. So just like the success of HBO's The Last of Us spawned a bunch of new sales for the games, the smash launch of Amazon's Fallout series had a similar effect. GameIndustry.biz reports that according to GSD data, sales in the most recent single player entry in the franchise, Fallout 4, increased by more than 7,500% compared to the previous week on European charts. In fact, the title, which released back in 2015, found itself the best-selling game across Europe last week, beating out surprise multiplayer Smash Helldivers 2 and EA Sports FC 24. The boost in sales was also helped by steep discounts across the entire Fallout game range across various digital stores. Indeed, 3 other games in the franchise also made the European top 10, Fallout 76 in 8th, Fallout New Vegas in 9th, and Fallout 3 in 10th. Now, these numbers came a week or two ago. They are much higher now than what I'm reading off here. Numerous games in this series have also seen their player counts dramatically rise following the release of the TV show, with Steam showing titles more than tripling its normal player count. The Amazon Prime Video exclusive was released in full on April 12th to widespread critical acclaim. And then we also have the Fallout 4 Next Gen update now available. So this Fallout 4 Gen update, there's a little side tangent here of they did improve a lot on the base game, but because over the years, people have leaned so hard into the mods of them, even on console. So when you boot up Fallout 4 on console, you can just literally, new game, load, mods, select that, select some mods that you may want. You can just sort of browse through a neat little catalog, whatever. tap install, that's it, and you can play with them and stuff. And so because it's so easy to do, this update basically messed all that stuff up because it's not keeping any of that stuff in mind, and now people are super upset over the fact of it breaking all of these mods. Now, I have personal experience in this because I got hyped over the show, wanted to reinstall all these things. I installed Fallout 4 VR, which we'll get to later, but with Fallout 4, I also installed out this next gen update and tried a bunch of mods out, and only one of the 10 I tried didn't work, so I don't think it's like nearly as big of a deal that people are making out to be, but there's probably very specific ones that maybe are just gigantically popular that I didn't test that people are upset over. So sure, it's a thing, but don't think that, oh, now all mods are broken. It's just more of like, even if it's 20% of them, it could be ones that are really important and it's still, an issue or something like that. But I don't know, how is Bethesda supposed to work around mods? I don't really think you can expect a company to really do much about that. All you can really do is update the game and then just hope people mod based around the new version. I can't hear you if you are talking.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was muted.
Yeah.
I was saying that, that makes sense to me. Are they gonna see? It's always unfortunate when they have like momentum with the show and everything, and then something goes wrong, or they mess something up.
Yeah. 76 though. What's funny is, so this update came out not that long ago, just a few days ago. But there was a big gap because the series came out the 12th, and everyone's like, man, how do you not have the next gen update available when the show launches? That way people can jump on. So it was apparently confirmed at this point. There was a lot of rumors and speculation, but I saw something about Bethesda basically owning up to it, and I wish I could find it. I should have saved it in here, but I saw it on my phone at work like yesterday. But it was a bit of, apparently they did it on purpose because they wanted people to jump on Fallout 76. Because they are saying they really believe in the game now and it's in a so much better place, and they wish people would actually try the new version. So apparently they purposely delayed the update, trying to hope people would play 76 instead of just immediately going back to Fallout 3 and 4 and New Vegas and what they know that they like. So they were purposely trying to hold off and dangle the carrot. And apparently it worked. It worked majorly because Fallout 76, whether that was actually the reason or not, numbers are flying way high. You're talking like not just 1 million higher, but close to a 2 million higher kind of ordeal going on. And the game's blowing up huge. And I'm actually hearing really good things about it. And I'm hating that I'm hearing really good things about it because that's the last thing I want to do is some online game. No. Especially 14. 14's, that's the one for me. That's the only one I can do. I don't want to do any more. But I'm telling you, this show is that good that it just starts just getting in your mind and wanting you to just experience so much more of this world. And it's really has me craving to try out 76. I have Game Pass. The game's, I think you have to buy it, but it's not that expensive and all that. But with Game Pass, I'm pretty sure I get expansions and all that, blah, blah, blah. And I know if you start right now, too, the onboarding is really good because they saw that you can just, I want to say, start at level 20 and not have to do the beginning, which apparently isn't that good. And you can start right into the good content and start with the character and get a whole bunch of items to sort of help you out. And apparently, like, if I were to just start playing, I'd have a great experience right from the get-go now. And, all the problems with the original release, I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but there was a lot of stuff of, like, they didn't even have NPCs in the game. It was just you and other players in an empty world with no quest, nothing to really do outside of like fighting each other kind of thing. Now it's like a full on just how any other Fallout game would be, with the apparently like really good DLCs now at this point with awesome maps and I the map in 76. I mean, I've had from because a dude from Easy Allies recently joined Last Day Media. I don't know if you knew, but
oh yeah, I did see. Yeah, I forgot his name, but yes.
Yeah, I forget too. But he has a show that he does. Anyway, on his show, you had like Mr. Matty Plays and Cog, all these people admitting that like the 76 map is the best map in any of Fallout and stuff like that. But it was just that the game was in such a bad shape, and they always wish so. Now that it's right. Good and like I don't know, I think I'm at least gonna give it a shot and just try to see, hey, you know, what am I missing out on this, and just give it a fair shake. I want to at least do that, but. I'm really obsessing, dude. I installed Fallout 3 Game of the Year on my Steam Deck. I got Fallout 4 VR on my PC. I got it like wirelessly linked to like my Quest and just sort of was like, you know, hopping in and out doing that, and installed whatever like mods I needed to make that good. Yeah, because again, it's a whole thing with Fallout and Bethesda, like really into the mods, or so I thought. And then I download all these mods, and I want to say, like, the Fallout 4 VR is like pure vanilla. I added one mod that adds like arms and stuff and fixes some like glitches or something like that. But then I installed Fallout 4 on my Steam Deck, and I downloaded all the mods and all this and really got it all decked out. And I'm going back and forth, and I'm like, honestly, like the vanilla is not nearly that bad, and in some ways I kind of prefer this or that or whatever. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, I think the games still hold up well, and I think you can totally ignore the mods. So then I was thinking all that, and I installed Fallout 3, and I didn't even touch any of the mods with that, and just started playing. And I'm like, no, dude, this game holds up incredibly well. And it's just, I mean, it feels like a modern game to me. Like, it, yes, I'm like, I don't know. I'm playing it on my Steam Deck. That's the thing. So I'm sure maybe if I blew it up on my TV, maybe it would look rougher or something. But I don't know. It looks pretty damn good though. Any of them, 3, 4, or so. And then I don't know. I'm really digging it, and I will say, like, because I know, like with you, like it's like, you know, I mess around, blah blah. Just get right into it. And I want to say, anyone, like, you could just hop right in, and it's not nearly as bad as I was expecting. I was expecting, because they're pretty old games. I don't know, like, I don't know what I was expecting, because it's kind of the same thing with, like, okay, let's say you go back to BioShock, right?
Right.
It's not like it's that bad. Like, BioShock still holds up well. I mean, yeah, it's one of the greatest or whatever, but like there's plenty of games you can go back to from that era, and it's like they still age real well and feel totally okay and normal. It's just kind of weird, because we never been able to. Prior to that, if you went back 10 years, you're talking like, okay, we're in PS2 days, but we go back 10 years. Now we're in like Super Nintendo days. You know what I mean? It's like we're in a state now where you go 10 or 15 years back, and it's like, honestly, this game is totally normal, and it doesn't feel that old. And
I know it used to be, you think 10, 15, you think 20 years ago, oh, that was Super Mario on Nintendo. And
yeah, it ends up being like a 360 game, and you're like, oh god, I'm old. But no, I mean, I think anything from 360 forward, like, the games aren't that bad. Like PS2, original Xbox, GameCube, you know, it can get a little rough, but I would say 360 onward seems to be holding up better than I thought. I've been thinking about this lately. Or like any of the big one, like Mass Effect. I mean, like, yeah, like the Legendary Edition cleans things up and stuff, but if you went back and played the original, you would still have a great time with it. It's really not that different. Like,
yeah, I agree. It's not a crazy change.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Anyway, that's that. Been obsessed over Fallout. I'm on the hype train. I love it. My wife's been watching that with me. Speaking of which, and then like, friends been so the same friends that came over when we watched the Last of Us TV series or watching a Fallout series.
You're watching Fallout, okay?
And it's been a really good time having them come
That's
over.
awesome.
Even though I already watched, I'll watch it again. I don't care. I think I'm in my third watch because I'm watching my wife, I'm watching it with me, and now I'm watching it with these group of friends coming over and watching it. And I'm only noticing new things and liking it even more. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that one out, especially after all the good things I've heard. So,
okay.
All right.
This little tweet
quick,
here.
Yeah, this little tweet from Housemark. It said tomorrow. It showed. Is that the Returnal girl, or what is that?
I don't know, but it's Housemark who made Returnal. Now we should know what it is, and I have yet to look up and see what this was. But apparently they tweeted a thing of tomorrow, and they showed like a girl's face. It looks like maybe that's a girl's face. Says,
another year, another cycle. The third time around, extra loot is exposed with Dark Horse Flair. Graphic novel, art book, some adaptation. Didn't seem like a whole announcement was necessary for this. Yeah.
So no game update, let's say.
Nope.
Okay. Never mind.
Done. I'll read this one too, I guess while we're at it. Telltale Games The Wolf Among Us 2 development update. The Fabletown gang will be back. Developer Telltale Games has promised in a new development update for The Wolf Among Us 2, its sequel to The Wolf Among Us, it announced in 2019. This update, which reveals the studio is still hard at work on the game, arrives after an unspecified number of layoffs hit Telltale Games last October. We've been quiet because we've been heads down focusing on the promise of The Wolf Among Us 2. Well, we can't give a big update yet. Here's a little something for you, which are in-progress shots from the current build. The work continues. The Fabletown gang will be back. Thanks for being fans. The Wolf Among Us 2 was originally due out last year, but was delayed out of 2023 in a March update from the studio. You know what I'm wondering is, does this game take this long to make? I mean, it's not like some crazy, ridiculous graphics, open world, crazy
it
mechanic.
Also doesn't take a decade to make Hollow Knight 2, but here we are.
I mean, that's true. That's a good point.
I'm joking, but here's the thing: is like, look, I like The Wolf Among Us, I really do, but is it that big? In like in no way am I over here gonna wait years for a sequel to it. Like, I don't care that much, dude. Come on, like, release it. I'll play it when it releases, but I'm not gonna sit here and like lose sleep over it. But it's been a long time. I saw this. I did want to add it in. Hopefully it comes soon. But again, it's pretty low on my like, oh my god, can't wait list. I liked it.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it. I thought it was interesting. Thought it was fun. Am I like, oh my god, I can't wait? You know which one I was hoping to see again was I like the Game of Thrones Telltale one, even though a lot of people didn't like it. I really wish that we would have got another one.
I also never watched the series, as crazy as that is. So.
Yeah. I wish we would just get a Game of Thrones game. I think that'd be awesome. Brand new. So
that would be cool. I mean, that, we have all of these fantasy RPGs, but why don't we get like a genuine Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, or just something very like high end, turn into video game form, but actually make it a good, genuine AAA product, right? You almost
they
like
did that with
what
Lord
they
of the Rings, somewhat.
Yeah, but what really? Like, not really.
Just those last two, the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. They were decent games.
Yeah, but it's so far removed from when you watch the films, what they're even about. This is like,
that's true.
Some like side character just running around fighting stuff and like doing this whole like, I forget what that system is that they use. Is pretty cool.
The Nemesis system. Yeah.
But like that's not like a Lord of the Rings adventure, or like even Game of Thrones. Like, it's a whole, the politics and the world behind it and the different like locations and traveling and all that. I want to have like a Witcher experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want like an action game. And
I feel you.
It doesn't really exist. I mean, we got that way back, like the Third Age on like PS2 original Xbox days, and that's like the last like, I don't know, genuine attempt at an RPG, but they didn't even do that good of a job. So but yeah, right. I would like a really like high fantasy role playing game, but I mean, Witcher 3 is that, but it's weird somehow like what else is there that's actually like in the AAA space? Not weirdly, not really that much.
Not that much. You're right. They definitely could do with coming up with some more to fill that sort of empty space, you know.
Like we there's 300 MMOs in this realm, right? But
I mean, yeah.
But can we just get a great single player RPG in this realm? That's what I want. So
I agree.
Now, I guess Game of Thrones, it probably would never happen because unless the creator just like accepted that he's not going to play a role, because I can't see him playing a role in that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I say that, but now I'm thinking back, I totally forgot about him doing the whole thing with the Dark Souls dude.
Elden Ring, yeah.
I mean, maybe he's interested in using his property.
Could be, you never know.
Yeah, that'd be neat. All right.
I'm gonna finish the book, so let's just do what I can with this.
Right. Okay. This is a wild one. It's pretty long, but I tried really hard and thought about this a while, thinking like, okay, what should I reduce? What should I limit? And I've reduced it as much as I'm willing to because I think the rest of this is too interesting to not say. So let's get into it. So, embrace a group to split up into 3 companies, including one called Middle-earth Enterprises and Friends. So I pulled this from an article at Game Informer by Wesley LeBlanc. I want to shout this out because I've tried to find a few ones that sort of summarized it well, and this is the best one I could find outside of me just writing the story myself and spending 6 hours on it. All right, so Embrace a Group, the company that recently sold Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake developer Saber Interactive for $500 million, has announced its plans to split into 3 individual publicly traded companies. As such, Embrace a Group as we know it will be no more. Instead, it will be largely consist of Asmodee, Coffee Stain and Friends, which, dear God, and Middle-earth Enterprises and Friends.
Coffee Stain and Friends.
First of all, what is this fucking Garfield and Friends? That's what I think. So,
yeah.
Like these, what the whole and Friends is ridiculous. But each of these 3 companies will be run individually and traded publicly in the market. Oh, I'm gonna pause here. It doesn't get into this, but I do want to say one thing that I didn't pull from here is, so they bought this, but they make like collectible cards and figures and stuff like that. There's this company that they acquired and pretty much they do make most of this Embracer's money, this one company here. And I want to say that company is the Asmodee one. Either way, they pretty much used all the money from that company, and because they were losing a ton as a whole, they branched into these 3 things, used the money from this company to pay off the debts in the other, and then split into 3 so they can try to then figure out a new sort of formula to where they can start making money again instead of like not going bankrupt, but basically like losing a ton as a whole, figuring out a new way to split open and then have 3 different companies technically, so all 3 have a chance to play into the market and try to make money, and then use the money from the Asmodee, if I'm right on one of those 3 being it, to pay off all the debts and all the other pockets that they had. and then split into the three, and that's basically kind of why it happened. So each of these three companies will run individually and trade publicly in the market, with IP and franchises under the Embracer Group umbrella spread across them. This separation follows a rocky period for Embracer Group, which is behind layoffs at companies like Black Forest Games and EOS Montreal after a planned $2 billion deal with Saudi Arabia-backed Savvy Games Group fell through in 2023. During the past years, the group has made significant investments in acquisitions and into a strategy of accelerated organic growth. To further realize the untapped potential in Embracer Group and better optimize the use of its resources, Embracer Group announced a restructured program in June of 2023, divided into 3 different phases lasting until March 2024. The company writes this in a press release. Focus of the program has been cost savings, capital allocation, efficiency, and consolidation, while also divesting selected studios. Following a careful and thorough review, it is the assessment of the board of directors that the current group structure does not create optimal conditions for the future value creation, both for Embracer Group's shareholders and other stakeholders. To continue the transformation of Embracer Group into the future for the benefit of all employees, gamers, and shareholders, the board of directors and executive management have therefore decided to propose a separation of Embracer Group, creating 3 separate publicly listed entities: Asmodee, Coffee Stain and Friends, and Middle-earth and
Coffee Stain and Friends. I can't get over that.
Enterprises and Friends. Embracer Group says of each of these 3 entities will have its own balance sheet, financial targets and structures, and allocation strategy. In short, each of these companies will be essentially independent of each other, even if they're formed under the same umbrella. So, Middle-earth Enterprises and Friends, this is what they're going to have. After this new split, they're going to intend to remain a creative powerhouse in a AAA game development and publishing for PC and console. It will remain the stewards of the Lord of the Rings and Tomb Raider IPs, with its main focus being the former. It will consist of studios like Crystal Dynamics, Dambuster Studios, Audios Montreal, Flying Wild Hog Studios, Tripwire, Vertigo Games, Warehouse Studios, 4A Games, and more, with IPs including Dead Island, Killing Floor, Kingdom Come Deliverance, The Lord of the Rings, Metro, and Tomb Raider, and far more. So like Flying Wild Hog, they did the Outriders, which again, I do like Outriders. Coffee Stain and Friends. Now, their purpose is intended to consist of leading publishers and developers focus on a variety of games for PC, console, and mobile, including community-driven free-to-play games, live-op games, and indie AA games. So, like, at its height, it's going to be like a AA game, but it's going to be more of like, you know, Steam games, mobile games, the more weird stuff.
Gotcha.
So that's who's going to handle all that, and more free-to-play stuff. Coffee Stain and Friends.
Coffee Stain, my voice.
And then Asmodee consists of 23 fully owned studios and more than 300 IP, and consists of the tabletop games section of Embracer Group. It will continue focusing on tabletop properties while collaborating in transmedia partnerships for IPs like The Lord of the Rings and others in the Embracer wheelhouse. As a global leader in board and trading card games with a proven track record of profitable growth, Asmodee is well positioned to build on its strategy and continue to prosper as a standalone entity. Its IPs include Ticket to Ride, Seven Wonders, Azul, Catan, Dabble, Exploding Kittens, and other board games based on the Lord of the Rings, Marvel, Game of Thrones, Netflix, Logo, and Star Wars IPs. And so that's where all that falls into with them. So, Middle-earth Enterprises and Friends will remain within the current publicly listed Embracer Group, which itself will eventually be renamed. Asmodee and Coffee Stain and Friends will hit the market as separate companies within 12 months during the 2025 calendar year.
Gotcha.
So they spend all these years, 3 or 4 years buying all these
Acquiring
different
all this
companies.
stuff.
And then they sell a whole bunch of crap last year. Got rid of more than half of what they owned. And then now they split into these 3 new things. So there's a lot of just stuff moving around all with that. And clearly bought a bunch of stuff and in no way would be making any money because they were so far down in the hole that what are you going to make all your money back from a SpongeBob release? Like, come on, dudes. So they definitely had to rethink their strategy. And I guess we'll see if it pays off. And that's that.
Jeez. What a mess. I just wonder who, like, when they sit down and they have their meetings and stuff, are they like, okay, guys, we know what we're doing. We have a good plan. Or are they like, okay, what the hell are we doing here?
So there's a lot of people say this about many things, right? Where it's like, man, how do these higher ups not know so much of the basics, right?
Yeah.
And what it makes me wonder is like, maybe they're so much in the weeds and so overthinking things that they just make it worse. And they really just have to just grab one of us and just sit down and just be like, look, this is how video games work, guys. Like, just get a normal dude. Or, you know, maybe not normal, but somebody who's just aware of the game industry quite a bit. But, I mean, come on, there's hundreds of thousands of us. Grab one of us and just ask us a few questions. I don't know. They always do these things that just make no sense. And, like, I can't even think of one of the examples where it ended up panning out for them anyway. It's like it always turns into a crap fest. Like, I'm not saying things like take random risks, like, okay, Fortnite, that was just a random, like, oh, we'll make this little side battle royale mode, but it's not even part of the main experience, and then it just takes off. You know, stuff like that is cool, and we're not saying that, like, we're not telling you not to do stuff like that, but we're seeing stuff from, like, miles away of just obvious dumbness, and it always fails, and it's like, I'm never surprised, slightly.
Right. I don't know what the heck they're doing.
And one thing I always think on is this PlayStation initiative of like 10 live service games. And we have what? I mean, we got Helldivers, but that wasn't even a part of the initiative. That was like that's like a co-op thing. That's not a live service. Like, I mean, it's turning into one weirdly, and that game in development far before this initiative. That game took like 7-8 years to make. This initiative was like 2 or 3 years ago, and they're like, all right, well, we got 10 bank we're gonna release, and we're gonna release in I don't know, Concord we're still waiting on. We're waiting on but the Last of Us one, they just basically had Bungie look at it and then I guess dropped it, and it's like
they're like, nope, this is no good.
But they shifted their whole business structure of just like, hey, this is gonna be a new big focus for us, and then like everyone's just like, but you sure you want to do that? We're kind of over them already. Like, I don't know. No one's really clamoring away at like a new battle royale or a new like free to play multiplayer game. That's not really what we're wanting. And it's
I think we've got far more than enough of those. Very saturated with those.
Yeah, and every time, you know, even the greats like Knockout City was a cool game. I liked it, but like it just can't survive. We there's too many of them. We get tired of it in a week or two because we've been here and done it a million times. Even if it's new mechanic, okay, it's a kickball game or dodgeball game. It has like, it's not even a shooter. This would work, right? But it's like somehow still ends up just falling into the same mold of like, what am I gonna play a whole bunch of rounds so I can unlock a new outfit for my character? It's like, been here, done this like 10 years ago.
Yeah, of course.
You know.
Kind of over it.
And they just keep thinking this is going to work. So anyway, that's just one of the many tangents of just like, there's so many pockets to where all these big companies are just trying to do all these moves that, I don't know. I think any one of us would just be like telling them no and given many good reasons on why. and they just need to actually like pay attention to what's going on around them instead of just. I mean, I guess they're just hoping and banking somehow it just works anyway, and then it makes them billions because it blows up huge. I guess that's technically a factor that could happen, but it seems like quite the gamble to take.
Right. Now it seems like a lot of gambling is going on here. So I don't know, man.
When's the last one? I mean, after Fortnite. I mean, Roblox was before Fortnite. I'm trying to think like what's a current like thing that even popped off after Fortnite that's making a ton and still just like to the level of hundreds of millions of players and all that. So
maybe what's the game called? The Titanfall universe one? Apex Legends?
Yeah. That I would say that's a good point. I would say that's the last big one, right?
That's the last big one I can think of.
Helldivers could reach. I mean, I don't think it's gonna reach that level, but you know what I mean. But like, it is way, way, way bigger than anyone was ever expecting, but I just don't know if I would throw it into that camp though, or if I don't think it'll ever hit those levels of like a Fortnite or an Apex, but. I mean, even just a tenth of what those would do is still just gigantic, though, and they definitely scored with Helldivers, so that is something.
Yeah,
I don't know what, but Anyway, all right, moving on here. You interested in this next?
Yeah, so I've seen a bit about it. Looks interesting. I want to see a bit more. But yeah, just to give context, Metaphor ReFantazio, new RPG from Persona team, gets October release date. I remember, didn't we see a trailer for when was it that we saw like
so they showed a trailer, it was last year. I think it was like an Xbox showcase or something along those lines.
Maybe, okay.
Is where they showed they just showed it again, but they showed a 25-minute showcase on the game. So they had a director just like explain a lot of things about the game, how the world's going to work, all that sort of stuff. More of like let's say like a state of play or a Nintendo Direct kind of style on the game. And I think it looks great. I purposely didn't watch a lot of this. I just kind of skimmed it because I don't know. I don't know if I want to know this much about the game because I'm already sold. I mean, I love Atlas. I love Persona games. I love most of what they do. I'm definitely going to play this. And I'm very interested because, again, this is the team of 3, 4, 5. They have yet to go outside of this pocket of either that series or Shimigami in general. Now they're making a fantasy role-playing game, talking on a fantasy role-playing game. We have one here. Now, this is very much still anime hardcore, so it's not quite to, like the gritty of a Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings or something like that. Very different, but still fantasy and very outside of their norm. And I bet they're excited to do something like this because they're not doing yet another with the same thing. And so I think by that alone, this game's probably going to be better than it would be otherwise, just because I could see such a heightened passion over really pouring a lot more than what they probably would normally do. Not that they don't anyway. These games sell incredibly well and review incredibly well. But I see this, even being a bigger splash than even a Persona, just because of it hitting a new genre for them, And, I'm excited. People should definitely check out the showcase they did. I just don't want to. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen the footage. I'm going to wait till we get a little closer. But honestly, I feel like I don't even want to play this game until I go back and play the other ones that I should have played already, like Persona 5, for example.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good thing here, it's completely unrelated and all that. But yeah, it still feels like
just a
well,
great game.
they've already made a great game that you could totally just already play. So yeah.
Right.
There's that though, but it's coming out. What's the date here? I forgot. They announced it. October 11th, which is not too far away, and it is day one Game Pass, and I don't know. Pretty weird and huge that a big JRPG fantasy thing.
I know that is that is a little strange, but oh well, it's good for everyone.
Because it's like what Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, and Persona are probably like the 3 biggest JRPG franchises.
Yeah, I would say so.
So it'd be like as if the next Final Fantasy was day one Game Pass kind of thing.
That would be pretty nuts.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think we do know Persona. Like at this point, Persona does sell better than Final Fantasy because like Final Fantasy 16 and then Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth like sold good. But if you look at Persona 5 sales, I mean, I want to say it's like now it's been out a long time, but even at release, I mean, you're talking one of the highest sales like at a drop of like in the genre. I want to see. That's actually a good thought. Like Persona 5, total sales. What would it even be currently?
Let's see.
So 16.8 million. Okay, so
pretty good for
a
game of that genre.
So let's look up like now. It's been out way longer, but let's see Final Fantasy. I don't know if we know Rebirths yet.
I don't know, but I'm hearing. I thought I read somewhere that they're saying the numbers are soft. Yeah,
but I don't know if I believe that. I want to see the actual. At the end of the month, we see the MPD and actually see it from that.
I don't know yet either, but like just put it on freaking PC too at the same time. Come on,
right? But let's see 16 since that'll be a better reference point. So let's see 16 sales. Yeah, 3 million. So it's not even that big. But yeah, I don't know. Okay,
I'm curious to see if they start changing up their strategy.
I'm seeing a more up-to-date one from a few months ago. It's now at 5 million, so there's that. So it did rise. But yeah, that's still not like, like Nintendo drops a Zelda or a Mario or whatever, and you're talking 20, 30, 40 million. So like, yeah, I don't know what it is because Final Fantasy 15 sold incredibly, and I think that's why is like because that game was kind of like weak. You had all that hype, but then like kind of underperformed critically, and then maybe because of that 16 was soft, or maybe it's just genuinely because of the action combat. Like, maybe people just who like Final Fantasy just didn't want to play it for that reason.
Yeah, and I wonder if some of these games that are being exclusive to PS5 or
that
PlayStation in
has
general,
to do something with yeah.
I wonder if that has something to do with this. And are they going to now say like, okay, and Square Enix had lost money recently?
Yeah,
are they going to start saying now like, okay, maybe we should put these out on more than one platform day one?
I think too, once this new Switch comes out, I think people are like itching, like I'm damn sure Square Enix wishes they could drop 16 on a Nintendo console. Like the amount of sales that would generate, like any new Final Fantasy, if they were to drop on Nintendo, I think like Nintendo just has that power, it would sell tons. But being exclusive to just a PS5, I think obviously that's gonna hurt. And so, but you can't really multi-platform it because the only other console you could even bring it to would be Xbox, and I don't think it would sell that great there either. PC is where you need to go.
Yeah, I agree.
PC is where you need to go. After that, it would be Nintendo, but
right.
They just can't release.
We'll
I
see.
mean,
We'll see if
they can't release Rebirth on the Switch. You know what I mean? But maybe they. I mean, it is Unreal Engine, and maybe they could release it on because that Crisis Core game that did release on Switch. it's 30 and not 60, but I want to say that is the case.
Okay.
And like it could totally like I think Remake could run on the Switch kind of thing like already, but it would chunk a bit. Like I think the very moment Switch 2 drops and it's just a bit more powerful, we don't know where they're going to take it, but it has to be somewhat more powerful than the original, you would think. That's way back 2017 on something that was already outdated at release. You would assume you could at least get it to where like it'd be stronger than, you know, like I don't know. You could have at least release your Final Fantasies on there, and that'd be nice to be in a spot where we finally have like the main Final Fantasy coming to Nintendo again.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, especially if the next Switch is moderately more powerful, yeah, it'd probably benefit them greatly to put it on there, you know?
Even retroactively throwing 16 and Rebirth on it and Remake, like, those sales would skyrocket.
Right.
All right. So, yep, really, but Metaphor ReFantazio will be Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC when it releases later this year. See, even that could be Switch 2 because PS4 can run it. We just need that. We need that new console, Nintendo. Come on. All right. Top charts. I wanted to show this real fast because if you look on iPhone right now, I had an outdated screenshot a week ago, but I did the recording because you were out. I updated the image. It's now number 1 of a Delta game emulator. So there's a whole bit where Apple, as of 3 weeks ago or so, they opened the gates to where, okay, we're just going to allow emulation, and all these rules based around their App Store got loosened a bunch because of a lot of European laws that are trying to get pushed and have Apple change this and change that about their policies. And which, thank God, especially, you know, things like, okay, now they have to use USB-C, which, first of all, side tangent, the fact that most things are USB-C now is like the greatest thing on planet Earth. Because, I mean, ever since I was a kid, like, everything has a different type of charger. And I just always wanted a reality to where this just could just end. Please, God.
I'm so over it.
Yes. And so, I mean, it's becoming a thing. Like, USB-C is like, everything is just taking it now. From like controllers to just the whole shebang. So it's really nice. I love that that's becoming a reality. But anyway, so Delta Game Emulator is now number 1 on iPhone. And this, so I've been running this on my iPhone anyway because I just sideload apps or whatever. It's a thing you can do. But you have to technically, when you sideload apps, you have to check in with the server like once a week. So I always had to plug my phone in if I want to keep it running, which I didn't because I eventually got a Steam Deck and I kind of fell off on like playing emulation stuff on my phone anyway. But it is a nice thing of like, I don't know, loading up like a GBA or DS JRPG and having it on your phone because it had the emulator is super incredibly well built where like the haptic feedback actually feels pretty nice. I mean, you don't want to play Mario or anything, but if you're playing any RPG or turn-based kind of thing, it works really well and all of that. And the emulator is really nice too because everything's cloud saved. So like I've fallen off of emulation a bunch too, just because of anytime I ever change device or mess with things, anything you're playing or saving, you're always losing. You're not inside of an ecosystem. And I want to be inside of an ecosystem when it comes to like my PlayStation or Xbox or Steam. I launch a game, I haven't played it in 6 years, and I can continue where I left off. And I want to always like have that ability, which is really nice. So like, anyway, so this Delta thing, it syncs with your Google account, syncs all your saves, It will automatically pull box art and all that, and it plays like NES, Super Nintendo, and 64, DS, GBA, and it's just real high quality. Like if you saw it in action, you'd understand. And it's really cool that this simulator is now just actually being able to officially be on it. And I just always gotta praise when the doors open a bit more on things not being so locked down. Obviously, you could download run whatever if you're on the Android side of things.
Right.
But I love when companies just stop being so stubborn and cringe. So if we want companies to be better, we have to celebrate when they do better. So we get so things get better over time, kind of ordeal. So that's all.
Yep.
One more thing here. Jackbox Party Pack is getting its first M-rated game in the series. They just dropped a little teaser trailer
Very interesting.
saying that's releasing this year. There's nothing more we know about it. Outside of this little teaser, there's no hint at even what types of games or anything. But an M-rated Jackbox game. Pretty cool. And what they do in the teaser is they basically splash all these comments of users being like, please make a more mature game, something only adults can play. So like, you know, they can actually use like more like intense words, because when we play Quiplash or whatever, we're definitely getting very adult with it real fast. And it's a lot more fun that way. But when they're like a game that leans into it would be super interesting. And I really want to see what this is and what games are going to be on it, and I will definitely be picking it up. I'm quite the Jackbox.
I'm excited.
I'm definitely in the camp where I have friends over and we play Jackbox, and I love doing so. So
Yeah, I think they're so fun and just like a blast to play, especially when you know you have some friends over, you got a group of people. It's so easy and seamless for everyone to connect. You know,
yeah.
So I love it.
All right.
All right. Ghost of Tsushima releasing May 16th on Steam. Ghost of Tsushima is a month away from its PC launch, and its arrival brings some changes to how PlayStation interacts with the platform. Sony explains Tsushima's port will have a brand new overlay that will let players see their profile, friends, and trophy list. It functions effectively the same as Xbox's PC overlay and brings PlayStation's ecosystem deeper into the PC fold. Players can also earn PlayStation trophies that carry over between the console and PC versions, provided accounts are linked. Trophy sets are the same, and the game will have full support for achievements on Steam and the Epic Game Store. All this is optional, said Sony. Though PC players wanted to play the co-op Legends mode, either on PC or via crossplay, will need a PlayStation Network account. That's cool. I mean, great game. Very, very fun, very good. Glad it's coming to PC, so...
Yeah, this overlay. So two things. Actually, I love this game. It kind of makes me want to buy it again on Steam. But I'm not going to. It's like, why? But for some reason, I just,
all right.
I don't know. I just want to. Regardless, second thing, which is most of what you were reading there, is just the fact of them having a PlayStation overlay. So, you know, that's really neat. And also, like, being able to see your friends list, be able, I'm assuming, message or whatever between, cross-playing even, and, you know, biggest thing just being trophies. I'm not a trophy dude, but obviously tons are. And the fact of now, like, PlayStation trophies on PC, I mean, that's really, really big. And it makes me wonder, it's like, okay, well, this is great, but now are you going to retroactively do the previous Sony releases? I'm assuming going forward, this is going to be the case. But, you know, it'd be neat if I don't know, Detroit Become Human, or like, I guess that's not really Sony first party, but I don't know, whatever. Spider-Man, God of War, etc. Horizon, if we could earn trophies on PC and get in the PlayStation sort of like UI stuff built into the game. I think that's exactly what they should do.
That's a cool approach. Yep.
It's pretty exciting. I think it's really neat.
Yeah. I almost, just like you, I was almost like curious to want to see how the game would run on PC and what it would look like and all that. It'd probably be amazing.
Yeah. It's like, it's a pretty meaty game, and I don't know if I want to just do it all again just so it could look a little better. It looks great on console already. I mean, just because it's just like artistically very well done. But yeah, it's tempting. I don't know. I guess if I saw it for $20 or something. What I'm hoping is that a friend buys it and I can just try it out, because I don't really want to buy it. But if it happens to fall into our Steam family library, I'll give it a shot. What I would really do, I wouldn't even play the story. I want Legends mode is awesome. I'm telling you, like, I actually fell into it and played a lot of it, and it's just defeating waves of enemies, co-op, and it's so much fun. And even just the co-op missions are also like incredibly cool. But I just like the waves of enemies thing. The horde mode basically is awesome, and I can play it all day, and makes me want, like, that's why I want PC releases. Like, I don't know, even on my Steam Deck, dude, that'd be cool.
Yeah, agreed.
Whatever. But awesome. Yeah, there's that. Two big things dropped on Game Pass: Eating Chronicle 100 Heroes and Jedi Survivor. Because EA game, basically, anytime 6 months after release, they'll drop it on the Game Pass side. And so, like, for example, like Dead Space would also be on there because of that, stuff like that. But I still just didn't really put the two together, and I wasn't really expecting this, and it dropped, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm actually going to play this game now, because I've been waiting this whole time hoping it'd get better. And well, now it's on Game Pass, so I've been playing it. Now, I can download it on my PC, or download it on my console. Here, let me read this, because I want to get into it. Because we'll bleed this into what we're watching when we're playing, because this is the last story anyway. So, the critically acclaimed action-adventure game from Respawn Entertainment in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games is coming to the EA playlist on April 25th, 2024, which is now already passed. PC Game Pass and Ultimate Game Pass members can start their adventures this week as a part of the membership to experience the next chapter in Cal's saga. Star Wars Jedi Survivor has earned top accolades and awards, including IGN's Best Game of 2023, PC Gamer's Best Game Adventure of 2023, and a Grammy Award for Best Score Soundtrack for video games and other interactive media. The game follows Cal as he explores an untamed galaxy while carrying his hopes for the future on his shoulders. Members can look forward to discovering new planets and visiting familiar frontiers in Star Wars Galaxy, each with unique biomes, challenges, and enemies. All the while that we master new skills, equipment, and abilities that traverse the landscapes. So, started playing this, it's like 2 or 3 nights ago. Once I realized it's on there, and installed it on my Xbox. And the frame rate is better, way better. Okay, the frame rate's not an issue now, at least on my Series X. Right. And looks good, runs good, awesome. That was the biggest worry that I had. Now, another thing though that I remember from the reviews, but I forgot till now, the cutscenes. Super jank, steel. Audio desyncing, stuttering, graphic glitches, like, I don't get what's going on. I guess it's like in-game cutscenes, but it's like runs a different way or something than the game. Like, the game, when you're playing the game, it looks better than the cutscenes. I don't
Right.
understand.
That's crazy.
I've never seen this. It's so weird. It looks worse in the cutscenes. It runs at 30 instead of 60 in the cutscenes. And then while the cutscenes are going on, I don't know if like say like, okay, you have a flying ship. Well, it'll like jank into the wall next to it and kind of spaz or something. It's like during a cutscene, it's like, what the hell? And then like the audio sinking in and out of like when they're talking and stuff like that. Or like I'm guessing it's trying to like load while it's doing cutscenes, and maybe that's where the problem lies, because things will just straight up like stop and stutter and then go again. And it's like, and it's running at a worse frame rate, and I'm just in the thinking like, dear God, anytime a cutscene pops up, it's miserable. And I'm just like, the game looks and runs better outside. This doesn't make any sense. So that's still like quite a major thing. Now, you know, the whole time I'm thinking this, like, am I over exaggerating here? Like, is it really that bad? But every time I think that, and then the next cutscene happens, I'm like, no, it's only getting worse as I continue through the game on these like. And there's a lot of them. Like, I don't know, every like 30 minutes or so, here's a little scene that takes place, and it's terrible. And I was just like, there's just, I don't know. So there's that issue, right? And I'm just like, all right, this is really just, I look with games like this to where like you play a bit, you get an awesome cutscene. I don't know, like from Final Fantasy to whatever, just whatever, like action game, role playing game, whatever. Is just, I really like the spectacle. Like, even when you're like Dark Souls 3 and a boss is coming in and get the spectacle of that. Can you imagine a boss coming in and they're like spazzing in the floor, or like, I don't know, or it's running super jank and audio. It's just like not very cool. So I got that complaint, and then the game, I don't know. It's the same with I thought there was going to be like a big improvement from the first game in terms of like its tone and stuff like that, because I felt the first was like, it's a little like, you know, lighthearted Star Wars, you know, we're for teens kind of thing or something like that. And like this game feels, it feels that same way. It's just got that like Disney lameness to it. Like, it just kind of like, you know, everyone talks like got like a chip on their shoulder kind of thing. And it doesn't feel like how real people sort of talk. And it's not like that interesting of plots going on. It's just, I don't know. I get it could be interesting with the whole like, you know, all of the Star Wars lore. And, oh, this plays in at this moment. Because it is cool on that front of like, okay, these games take place. They're taken very seriously in the overall Star Wars lore of it all. Like the first... like you have the Star Wars prequels, then you have like the Clone Wars stuff like TV show and Rebels, and then you have like films 4, 5, and 6, and this basically takes place between the prequels and the original films, where like Bad Batch fills in and Andor and all that, and the games fall in that, and the characters play like pretty big roles, and with like races, what's going on with the overall story in the game and the whole big picture and stuff, all that, sure, and that's neat and whatever, but like what's technically happening though from moment to moment, it just seems corny and lame, and like, oh, I feel like it's like I'm supposed to be 11, like it's what it's made for. I don't know, it just doesn't, I don't like the tone, and that I have this problem in general, like with Disney stuff. It's just like, it always feels a bit too like corny and family friendly to where and it just doesn't, I don't know, it feels shallow and weird, and I never really can get into it. And that's basically how this game is feeling. And I've played a lot of it because I'm just trying to see, hey, does it get better? And I put, 6 or 7 hours, and I uninstalled it. I was just like, I get it. I tried. It's cool. Like the combat, I don't know. Well, even that, like, it's no Demon Souls or anything. I don't.
Right.
It's not that good. I mean, Stellar Blade is a way better action game than what this would be, for example.
Of course.
So I don't know. It's like good at, you know, like a few things. It looks good, you know, like it's a cool, like, as you're exploring the different environments and like, man, that looks really neat, you know.
Okay.
That's basically like it. It's not wowing me. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not like a gigantic Star Wars dude, so maybe because I don't have that like inner like, oh my god, like love for the lore
Like
and characters and all that,
yeah.
for me to really care too much on that front. But at the same time, I don't know. I like Star Wars. Like, there's plenty of like movies and stuff with Star Wars that I do like, so I don't want to say I don't, but I'm just not like ultra fan or anything. But
I gotcha. I was trying to wait it out for a while for the performance stuff, but
I'm surprised. I thought this was gonna be better, because that's the thing though, is like Respawn, I think, is such an awesome studio.
Oh yeah.
And I think what they do is great, and like what they made here, I mean, like it's good, but it feels like they're not even like, it doesn't even feel like they're telling the story. It feels like the people running the Star Wars stuff came in and said, here's what you got to do, and they have to like follow all of these like strict guidelines and the way the tone has to be, and like I remember so many things about how this one's going to be so much darker, and like maybe there are bits that happen that are super dark, but like the tone overall though, like I get it. It could be light and go dark over the course of the game, like anything would. But no, it's like there's still just a Disney corniness to it, and I can you can spot it from a mile away. The same with like current like Marvel stuff. It's just like it's just not hitting right. It doesn't feel genuine. I don't know. Like even Star Wars stuff. If you watch, even go and watch like from prequels to even like, like anything outside of like the newer films and newer TV shows. If you go and watch any older Star Wars stuff, it still just feels like people acting normally, and not like this like they have to have a chip sarcastic undertone to everything or something, but it never comes off like good. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a problem I have with I guess all of these IPs in general, and this game definitely is in that. I thought it wasn't going to be, because it's a video game and it's Respawn, but it feels like I'm playing that stupid Forsaken game or something. Forspoken, whatever.
Oh, Forspoken.
It's like there's just this awkwardness to it, you know, and that's just how it feels. It's not that bad, but you know, I don't, you know, I've tried to explain it best I could.
No, I feel you.
It's got that tone, and I don't like
it. I'm not in a rush to play that game. I was. Then with the poor performance, they kind of lost me. And I was like, you know what? Just whatever. Whenever I get back to it, I'll get back to it.
All right. So yeah, been playing that. You know, it's in that 6 for me. It just sounds terrible, because there's so many people that like, dude, it's one of the best, like one of their favorite games in years or something, and I'm over here just, I don't get it. All right. Playing a ton of Tekken 8, dude. I'm about it. I'm surprised. I'm like way deep into a fighter, and nice. I couldn't be happier. My kid's playing it a bunch too. We're playing matches together. Basically, I'd say 1 out of like 5 matches he can beat me in, kind of deal, which I'm still shocked, because like I'm genuinely trying really hard, and he can squeak out a victory here and there. So he's getting really good too with that, and I'm playing online a lot. I'm playing like Frank came over 2 days ago, and so like I just got off work and he was over, and they were playing Tekken 8 whenever I walked in, and we were just basically the loser passing the controller, and sat there for a good 2 or 3 hours. Just it was an addicting, just like I don't know, trying out all these different characters, because when I play online, I'm sticking to one. I play as Nina, and I'm like really just into her moveset. But I'm happy that I finally went, and as we're just passing the controller, trying out all these different characters, because I'm starting to realize, like, oh no, like I could totally play with a lot more characters than what I thought I could. I was way more worried about that. And I'm starting to have a lot more fun with a lot more characters. And I'm happy about that, because I thought I was really just gonna stick with one and go and not even bother. But I'm doing really good with other characters, and now, like, because of that, I want to hop online with just different characters now and really like try to learn a lot more about them. And it has that thing, you know, like Smash, where the same tactics apply to every person, but each person does it differently, but you still do the same actions, you know? And so I love that about it. So you don't have to like relearn a new character and memorize new moves for a new character. It doesn't really work.
I love that. That's actually awesome.
Yeah. So I'm loving this game. It looks great, runs great, awesome music, awesome characters. It's just like I can't really think of anything bad to talk on it.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Really,
all right.
Really enjoying that. Belantro. I've heard good things. I got that. I was I don't know. I didn't know what to expect, but thankfully it was $15, and even that I was like trying to get for like $10 off CD keys. That is what I ended up doing. And I was just like, I just don't want to. What if I don't like it? And it's like, I mean, I like card games, but like a roguelike card game, I don't know, dude. But I keep hearing so many great things, and people being like, dude, I'm addicted. I'm gonna play this for years. One of the best. Like, it's like. So, yep, I've been playing it, and I've put about 15 hours into it, and I think it's phenomenal, and I think it's, I guess, the best Steam Deck game for sure, and it needs to come to Switch. But Leon, real quick, you've been playing Belantro, right?
Yes.
So I got he came up to me yesterday and he was like, "Hey, do you want to play poker?" And I was like, "Well, funny you should mention that." I was like, "You should play this Belantro game. I want to see what you think." And just play through one round, and then we'll play poker together. And he sat there for an hour, just getting better and better and better. And now I'm over his shoulder a lot, and I'm sitting there being like, okay, you should do this here. This is how this works, and explaining all that and telling him, hey, this is how these cards function, blah, blah, blah. And then after about 10 minutes of teaching him the ropes to it all, he went for a solid hour run and did really awesome. And I was just like, way better than what I did initially, but I also had no idea what I was doing. There's so many weird things about this game I did not understand. So,
okay. I'll have to check it out.
I love it though. I'm really, really into it. I mean, what do you think, Belantro?
Belantro.
That's what it's called, but that's the.
Oh, I thought you were calling me Belantro.
No, the card game, dude.
Okay.
What do you? I mean, do you like it?
Yeah. No. Why would I sit there and play it for an hour and not like it?
I don't know, dude. I'm just trying to get you to say something more about it before I kick you back out of here.
Okay.
Come on, Leon, sell me on the game. I need to know if it's good or not.
He needs to know it's good. Sell Rudy on it. Tell him what the game even is, and if he should even like it, or
should I play it? Is it fun? Is it easy to understand?
It's poker, but what it is so you can have different Joker cards which help you, and you can get money after you win a blind, and you basically, they don't play against you, but they, if you don't get enough money to beat that blind, like there's small blind,
you have
big
to
blind.
earn enough points each round to move on to the next round. So it'll be like, okay, you have to earn 300 points this round. So to earn 300 points, like each hand you play, okay, it could be like two pairs or straight. Straight will give you like 120 points.
Oh, I see.
And
It's
then
based
your
on-
jokers
So
can-
you need to like play certain hands so you reach the point limit, then you can move on to the next round.
And then your jokers can help with that by adding multipliers to certain moves you do, like two pairs, and
Gotcha.
I got really good at that. And by the way, you said that the game doesn't save your progress.
It does.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know it did. Because he just straight
But-
quit out of it. And I'm like, whoa, dude, you were way deep into that run and you just quit? What are you doing?
Oh, so it'll save it in the middle of like a round or whatever.
But
Okay.
it does save your
Cool.
progress.
Okay, good.
Well, that's good to know because I didn't
All right,
know
sounds
that.
interesting.
But yes, so a Joker will be like, okay, well now whenever you do, if a diamond is in your hand, we'll add ×4 to your points, and all that. So at the end of a round, you can spend money on different like card enhancements or Jokers you can buy, or like vouchers, which will like permanently give you a perk.
Oh,
the whole
and
rest of your run,
here's a
stuff like
tip. Always, if there's a planet card,
Okay.
like in the sale, always buy that.
I mean, I do agree.
Never buy anything else.
The planet cards will be like it'll level up your hands. So like, okay, every full house is level 1, a straight is level 1, pair is level 1. Well, you buy a planet card, now it levels up. Okay, now you do two pair at level 2. So every time you play two pairs down, you're gonna earn way more points than you normally would. So you can get like a straight to be like level 8. So now anytime you lay down a straight, with all these multipliers going off and based off of the level of it, you just earned like 20,000 points just off of one hand. What would normally give you like 120 because you leveled up your straight so many times.
Oh, and about the hands, you only have limited hands and discards. So you can
Gotcha.
do discards to get better cards, and you can do hands to get your points.
Anyway, it's really fun, super addicting. I love it. I totally understand the crave of this game, and I've been playing it many nights. I'll watch something on TV, and I'm just sitting there on the Steam Deck playing Belantro. And it's like
All right, very cool.
it's like I don't know, sitting there playing Tetris on the couch watching something. It's just that like perfect, just a little side game of something I could totally see myself playing for a long time to come. So give it a shot. It's in the Steam library.
I know what it's like.
Okay, very cool.
It's like whenever you first discovered, what is it called, vampires.
yeah.
Oh, we're about to-
I got really sucked into that.
Well, it was vampires. What?
Survivors.
Vampire Survivors.
Yeah. It's like the next big Steam Deck game, like Vampire Survivors was. Yeah. All right.
Well,
There's that.
sounds cool.
All right.
Well, for me, I've still only been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm pretty far into the game now. I finished chapter 11. I had done
You're pretty
every
far.
single
Okay.
thing. Yeah, I had done every single thing there is to do. Then I hit chapter 12, and they hit me with, there are new quests available in Gongaga. There are new quests available in Grassland. There are new quests. I'm like, oh,
Okay,
no.
wait. Is that the bit to where now you have the boat and you arrive in Costa del Sol, and then
Yes.
it unlocks all of these more things to
Yep.
do? Yeah.
So I'm doing those. I will repeat again. I don't mind doing these quests. However, I have to go back and do chocobo racing now, and I just really don't enjoy it. I'm just doing it just to do it.
Is that what you're
But
doing
it's
right
all-
now? Because I actually
Yeah.
finished all of the Chocobo stuff, so I did do all the races,
10 silver ones.
did the Gold Cup, won it,
And the
all
gold-
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, what's
the-
cool is what happens with the story because of that. I do like the
right.
story payout, but yes, the Chocobo racing itself. I mean, granted, it does
Okay.
get better than what it
Yeah.
originally was because they start
Yes,
adding a lot of other mechanics with the tracks and everything. And I'm like, okay, thank God it's just not as stale as like the first races back when you were doing it previously. Like at least
Right.
they're adding, I don't know, I can't even think like
That's
little
some new
whirlwind
weapon
things
and-
or little
yeah, yeah.
like weapon things and cool little like
Yeah.
track messes.
So I have I want to say 3 silver cup ones left, and then I have the gold cup thing. So
Okay.
after I'm done with that, I'm gonna go back and just continue, wrapping up those missions and stuff. I'm pretty much done with the Queen's Blood quest almost. I'm very close to the end of that, I think, because I'm level 9 now, I think, and I fought everyone there's to fight. I believe so. I just beat the guy, like the ghost.
See, I thought that too, and then I went back to other regions because of these like new unlock things, and I'm starting to find people that I missed. Whether I missed them or whether they're new, I don't know.
Gotcha.
But,
okay.
Yeah, I think now I'm caught up, but I recently was doing that. Last I was playing, I was like cleaning up new Queen's Blood I was seeing. But
gotcha.
Anyway, I mean, yeah, it's weird because it's like, yeah, we can just not do any of this and just mainline it. But here's the thing: is like a lot of these though end up being too interesting, and I don't want to miss it. So,
right.
I don't know.
Yep. So that's where I'm at now. So
it's hard to complain on I just never know what to say because it's like I'm not complaining because it's good stuff. It's just so much. But like, should I be complaining about that? Like, I don't have to do it. Like, I don't know. And even like, I end up being happy in the end every time I do it. It's just, I just need to get over, like, I don't know why I'm rushing for this game to end. I guess it was just because, like, okay, so I can put it down and because there's a lot of other games that I want to play and all of that stuff, right? But I think, I mean, it's a little too late to say now, but should have went into this game and just always have like a second or third game kind of thing instead of just solely playing this.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is so much larger experience, and I think it's all worth like, not. I don't know if all would be a true statement, but I would say 85-90% is like all stuff that I'm glad I did.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I don't know why I'm rushing for it like to be over. I shouldn't be, and I guess I only was because of playing other stuff. But now that I like put it down and start playing other things, I should have just like the very moment I'm like, all right, I'm playing too much of this. Let me just hop over something else instead of trying to just keep playing when you don't want to. And just making it more of something that takes you a few months to play than trying to beat it in like 2 weeks. I think that's where the problem's lying.
I agree. Yep.
And it's like,
so I'm gonna keep going.
Do we blame? I mean, when it comes, forget it's this game, just any game, period. It's like, do we blame devs for that? Is it actually an issue?
I don't, because it's like, it's just extra stuff for you to do. You don't have to do it. I'm sure people would be complaining if it wasn't enough content. So, that's how I see it, kind of.
Yeah. It makes me wonder because, like, okay, yeah, Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game ever, and I love the characters too much, and it makes me feel like, okay, like, I'm trying my best not to have any biases or anything like that. So I'm trying to just imagine, okay, what if another game was doing these things? If I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't do it. If I did, I would do it. And I guess I do want to do it because I keep doing it. So I think that's just it. I don't know. And I just shouldn't be in a rush.
Right.
It's just more of, I guess we just want to. I guess I badly want to know story 2 before I get it spoiled for me. I still don't know, and I want to be able to like, I guess it's just the conversation of it all because we're doing this podcast and stuff, and that also makes you want to like beat it. But I just need to chill on all that and just enjoy it.
Yep, I agree. So, yeah, man, that's where I'm at.
Okay. I mean, you're actually catching up to me. And
yeah, I'm pretty far now.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I only played maybe 3 or 4 hours in the last 2 weeks because I hit like 100 hours prior to that. And I've just been trying to hold off so we can watch this date scene that basically you could do now. Now, I've done a lot of other things in all these other regions and stuff like that, but still, in the story, you are where basically I am.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. Well, that's it for that. Been watching anything?
I've been watching a couple movies. I'm watching a movie right now called Men. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
It's a horror movie. Very, very weird movie. So I'll have something to say about that next week. But it's like an A24 movie. You know, they always make all those crazy horror movies.
And that's something I've been watching.
What?
Avatar.
Oh yeah, he's been watching Avatar. What episode? Do you know what episode you're on?
Like chapter, either at the beginning of season 3 or almost at the end of season 2.
Okay, well they call it books, right?
Yes.
Isn't it like book 1, book 2?
Oh.
Yes,
in
Netflix the thing it says
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully you're enjoying that one.
You're liking it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Well, you have any questions? I mean,
No,
you
just
have
curious. I
about
wanna-
everything.
Well, look, Avatar. I hate admitting this, but I didn't watch it. It was like past my like.
Me
By the
neither.
time it was coming out, I was like, well, you know, it's a cartoon. It's like not that it like, oh, I won't watch cartoons, kitty, but it's like. I'm like watching
It's
all
an
these
anime.
like dark animes, and then it's like, you know, I see this and it seems a little like lighthearted, and I just, I'm not really interested. But
The part that I'm watching now, it can get way deeper than you think. To be honest, I was like,
I mean, I hear that. I definitely am aware that people are like, oh no, it goes deep. So, I need to watch it. I know. I'm just saying at the time, I was just like, that's how it felt like to me, so I didn't watch it.
Gotcha.
But,
All right.
yeah, I need to.
Did Rudy watch it?
I did not watch it yet.
He
I
did
tried to
not.
watch the first episode a while ago with
Okay.
my kids, and then they got all distracted and bored, and I was like, okay, whatever, we'll get back to this. And I just never went back. But I'd like to eventually go back and watch it.
So, he can't hear you because of my headphones, but
Oh.
what he's saying is like he tried to watch it and he was trying to watch it with his kids and they got bored fast and he never really like watched it since that. But
But I
Oh.
might go back.
I'm surprised about that, but okay. Because
just
if they watch,
Don't focus.
do you know like when they ended? Like on the thing.
We didn't even
Do you
finish the first
remember?
episode.
they didn't even finish the first episode, so
The first episode,
Tell them we're watching One Punch Man though.
bro.
He's
That's like
into
20
that.
minutes long. They can't just sit there for 20 minutes.
now they are watching One Punch Man and they are liking that.
We're
so,
liking that. That's a good
what
one.
is that?
Well, were they watching it whenever they were watching the
Actually,
Avatar? Were they getting into that?
Actually, both of my kids got distracted with Avatar, but One Punch Man, my daughter watched a few, but my son and I have continued to watch it. So me and my son are still going to
So,
continue season 2.
him and his son are watching One Piece and they actually are invested and past just one episode and really into it. So
Okay.
what?
I don't know. I mean, I just want to talk more about it, but I know y'all don't know anything about it, and I'm just
Yeah, we're not there yet.
screaming inside because I don't want to spoil it either for neither of you.
But there's a lot of like super cool things that you like think about it that you're like, man, I wish I could talk on.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, well, maybe eventually we can all talk about it.
Maybe me and you I could like restart it, and me and you could
Hey,
watch
I'll
it.
look. I'll genuinely watch it with you if you want me to watch it with you. I've
Yeah.
never watched it, and it's something I should watch. I feel bad not watching.
Well, there you go.
So there you go.
Anytime you have free time instead of playing Tekken or something like that,
Dude,
I'm just gonna
I don't
go.
know if I can stop Tekken. So
No.
Tekken's pretty pro,
That's-
dude.
What I mean is like anytime you like you and me want to do, if I want to do something with you
Okay.
and you're
There you
like
go.
sure, and just boop, 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 boop,
All right. And we'll talk on it, and I just gotta watch it. All right.
Okay.
Let's wrap
We'll
this
get
up.
into new game watch and we'll get out of here. So, this is over the course of the last 2 weeks, and a lot has come out. Another Crab's Treasure, all platforms, April 25th. I want to say that's Game Pass as well. Fallout 4, we got that next gen update, April 25th. Library of Ruina, April 25th, PlayStation 4 and Switch. Saga Emerald Beyond, all platforms, including mobile, April 25th. New Demon Slayer game on Switch, April 26th. Manor Lords, April 26th, PC. Sandland, April 26th. I played the Sandland demo, by the way, and I'm like, I'm whatever on it. Stellar Blade is now out, April 26th. Top Spin 2K25, April 26th, all platforms but Switch. El Shada, Ascendant of the Metatron HD Remaster, Switch, April 28th. Braid Anniversary Edition, all platforms, even mobile.
Oh, there we go.
April 30th. So
I didn't know it was coming out so soon.
I didn't know that either. So it's out as of now.
It's out. Okay, cool.
Okay, neat. Do you know? I mean, are they actually adding anything, or are they just doing visuals?
It's been so long since I looked into this. I'll have to look back and see. But
I'm pretty curious.
I remember. That's crazy. I didn't know this was out already. All right. Braid Anniversary Edition. Here it is.
Would that be 10 years?
Let's see.
Longer than that, because
I'll tell you right now. The original dropped in 2009. Wow.
Oof.
So 15 years.
So, okay, I guess 15-year anniversary. All right. But phone's pretty neat.
Oh no, wait, Tim. It says coming May 14th. So maybe they changed it.
Maybe it got pushed up just a little, because that's only like 2 weeks. So yeah, maybe it got pushed a little. Right. Okay. Either way,
the visuals definitely look better. It says a fresh coat of paint. Obviously, we see that. Developer commentary. Okay. Manipulate the time, move forward. Yeah, it seems like mostly a visual thing. I don't know if there's other things going on. I'm not sure.
Okay. Either way, that's cool. Front Mission 2 remake, all platforms, because it was Switch. Now it's on the rest of the platforms as of the 30th. Sea of Thieves, now out on PlayStation 5. Apparently that's selling gangbusters. Actually, apparently all there. We'll get into it next week, but there's those 6 Xbox games, because they're like 4, and then there was 2 other like Bethesda or something like that. Either way, they're starting to show like such larger numbers that Xbox is definitely like, okay, we're gonna definitely keep doing this more, and it's proving an aspect of which I wondered. I was like, well, are people not going to buy it because they could technically play it through Game Pass, PC, Xbox, whatever? Or are people so into their ecosystems that if they're PlayStation and not playing elsewhere, they'll just buy even if it is, free elsewhere, And it's proving the people are just too into their ecosystems at this point, and which is very weird because, again, we had that whole gen of like, 360 PS3. Okay, 360 was the superior. Then you had the PS4, Xbox One. Well, everyone switched to PS4. But it's looking like the Pentium can't swing if it wanted to, and people sense that Xbox One, PS4 line in the sand. People going forward from that point just want to stay in their ecosystems, and I think this is another proving point of that. If even they can play elsewhere, they just want to play where their platform of choices, and that's that. And I mean, you prove this daily with the Steam stuff. It's like, but you just want to play through Steam, and you're willing to pay for it, regardless. And so that maybe opens more doors than closes when it comes to Microsoft, because do they really care if a console sells or not? Wouldn't they just rather care that they make a game or publish a game and it sells? So, I think this is going to be the dawn of like a huge shift of just like, I don't know. Microsoft was already going way more open, but now it's just like doors wide open of just, here's our games, whatever platforms, and because it's selling way too large of numbers. Like Sea of Thieves, even before it came out, was number one like pre-ordered, and now the release, I want to say it's like a few million right out the gate.
Gotcha.
Pretty big, and that's just that game. And then apparently all the releases are doing the same thing. They're seeing big numbers. So anyway, Endless Ocean Luminous Switch May 2nd. I'm genuinely curious about this. I never played Endless Ocean. Yeah. Indica, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and S, PC, May 2nd. Madison, PlayStation VR 2, May 2nd. MotoGP 24, all platforms, May 2nd. Surmount, Switch, PC, May 2nd. Prison Architect 2, PlayStation 1, Xbox Series X, and S, PC, May 7th. Seed of Life, all platforms, May 7th. And V Rising, PC, May 8th. And that will do it. And we're going to get out of here and see you guys later.
Which
Leon, I gotta go.
See you later.
topic? Chess. That's what it is.
What is this?
Chess. A knight.
Oh. Okay.
I have one more topic.
No, we gotta go, dude.
Fine.
What, you just want to say chat? You want to talk chess and just like he's been big into chess, and he's like in the chess club at school. And he's getting like really, really into it and getting really competitive. And he'll like take my phone and play like chess online and stuff like that. And so like
that's awesome.
Yeah, I've never played a chess game in my life.
You're about you.
Yeah, I used to play a little when I was younger.
You're about you.
Anyway.
Ow! Oh.
Sorry. Yeah.
Ow.
All right. See you guys.
All right, later.
How pointy it is.